Welcome to Malcom Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcom and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. We're back.
It's season 5.
Season 5. I'm your host, Malcom Reed, joined by my lovely and talented wife, Miss Southern Shell. Shell, how are you?
Doing good. Great. I'm glad to be
enjoy,
back.
Your brief vacation from the podcast and doing
yeah.
videos for a little while?
I did. Did you have a good holiday?
Yeah. I didn't want to come back.
You never do. Tyler, did you have a good holiday?
I had a blast, man. It was great. It was like we had family in town and stuff like that. I got to see them, but I was excited to come back to work.
I like the routine. I like to get out of the routine, but I like my routine.
It's just I don't like the cold, so.
You love the cold.
Filming in cold, yeah, but I don't like doing videos in cold.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one reason why I take a break. The weather just sucks. It's crappy. The wind's blowing harder and it messes the sound up, and you don't like being outside. I don't mind the cooking outside in the cold, but it's harder doing the videos and stuff when you're not comfortable.
Yeah.
I'd rather it be cold than hot. Don't get me wrong, but I stop in July too. I take a break then too.
There's been several
I
times.
like a medium temperature. If I can just keep it around 70 outside, that's my ideal operating temp.
You're like Goldilocks. You don't want it too hot. You don't want it too cold.
That's right.
There's been several times I've bundled up like multiple layers, gloves, hats, the whole 9 yards when we're film outside.
Yeah. We're going to have to do it because it's going to be cold next week.
Hey, we've been filming inside.
It was cold.
This past week we filmed inside.
So, yeah, that's what we jumped back in with a few TikToks that, Tyler, you're working on those now, right?
Yes. We actually had one released yesterday. So.
Oh, did we? Mm-hmm. Was it one of the new ones that we shot this week?
Yeah, that was the biscuits. I like to call them better than Red Lobster biscuits, but
no, that's a good name.
It is.
Let's call them that.
Better than Red Lobster?
Yeah.
I just call them cheesy garlic biscuits.
But they are better than Red Lobster.
They're way better than Red Lobster.
I could really tell the real fans from the regular fans because everybody was wondering where the garlic came from. But you said specifically that your AP seasoning was in there, so
yeah,
that's it. I mean, the AP is a garlic seasoning.
Yeah,
I mean that's the number 2 ingredient. It's salt, garlic, and then black pepper. 2, 1, 1 half.
The way you cook those biscuits, you use a cast iron skillet.
Yes, you got it, man. See all this cooking biscuits on a baking sheet and parchment paper and all that. That's not cooking biscuits. I don't even know what you're making. Maybe those are.
Why do you use a cast iron?
Because it makes them crispy on bottom.
It does.
And cast iron cooks better. And because my mama cooked them in cast iron. That's why I cook them. She didn't cook no sheet pan biscuits. I guess people do them sheet pan biscuits if they're cooking for a crowd or something, maybe. But I just do multiple cast iron pans. The cast iron it makes cornbread and it makes biscuits. That's what it's for.
It does make a difference. And then you brush your tops with butter, and it almost gets a little crispy on top too.
You've got to put some oil in the pan. I don't care if you use vegetable oil, canola oil, peanut oil is really good. Gets a little flavor. Don't use olive oil. I used just vegetable oil. That's all I had. I didn't go digging for peanut oil. I'm sure you probably had a little, but I just put like 2 tablespoons of peanut oil on the bottom of the skillet.
Vegetable.
Vegetable. The way my mama does it, she'll put that biscuit in there and then put it in the oil and then flip it over instead of buttering the top. So I always like to use the melted butter over the top of the biscuits once you put them in the pan. You need something to help them brown up. I've seen, like my mom does it with flipping them in the oil. That's fine. I've seen people make an egg wash and brush them with a little egg wash on top just to give them. Yeah, I want that butter. I want that butter. That butter's where it's at. You just melt you about half a stick of butter, and you're going to use part of it for before you cook them, like on top. And then as soon as they come out, you hit them with another little melted butter over the top. And it'll be the buttery, richest, just delicious biscuit with a little bit of that buttermilk flavor in it. I mean, biscuits are super easy. I don't know why people don't make more biscuits. That's a lot. It's hard to find you a woman that can make biscuits.
You've got to roll out the dough.
There's nothing to it. The less you work it, the better it is. So all I did now, here's one secret. And my mama don't do this, but I freeze a stick of butter and then grate it on a box grater. And I mix that with the flour first. Now, some people just add Crisco.
That's why
some people add lard. So yeah, but I like that frozen butter cut with the flour and just
real butter.
Real butter. Do
you use salted or non-salted?
I like to use the salted. I want my biscuits to have that, a little bit of savoriness to them and that little bit of salt in there, it just works in biscuits. It works in bread to me. The recipe, like my mom always puts a pinch of salt in hers, but she only uses oil or Crisco or something like that when she does her flour to cut it. And I'll trust me, do the butter. It gets little buttery bites in the biscuit as it cooks. That butter melts and it's delicious.
It gives the biscuit dough a lot of flavor.
Yeah. So all it was 2 cups of flour, 1 stick of frozen butter that you grate on a box grater. And you got to be pretty quick with that. Once you grate it, it's going to start warming up. You got to get that cut into the flour pretty quick. I just use a little flour cutter. I guess that's what I could, dough cutter. It's like this little 3-bladed thing. You work it in, and it kind of gets pea size. The butter gets it mixed with the flour, and it looks, a little bit like gravel kind of or whatever. You want it kind of fine. Then you put in a little bit of extra baking powder. Now, my mama don't do that either, but she don't. I mean, I like a fluffy biscuit, and that little, even though I'm using self-rising flour, I add a little bump extra of baking powder to give it a little more height. You don't get any flavor from it.
I do that with my banana nut bread.
Yeah, just to give it just a little bump. Just a little bump. I don't think they put as much baking powder in self-rising flour as they used to. But I always use the self-rising because that's what my mama used. If you don't use, white lily flour, regular flour, all-purpose flour, you got to add baking powder, you got to add baking soda, and you got to add a pinch of salt anyway. So, but you can do that if you want to. But the cheesy part comes from a whole cup of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. Now, you don't need more than that. They're going to be cheesy enough. Don't get me wrong. The 1 cup is I've done it. I've done a whole bag, whole 2. The little.
It's not a casserole where you can just add it.
Yeah. 1 cup of shredded cheese. You use any kind of cheese you like, but sharp cheddar gives it really good flavor. And the cheese kind of disappears a little bit.
It does.
You don't tell there's cheese in it, but it's got that sharp cheddar flavor. And then for the garlic element, I used my AP seasoning because it's salt, pepper, and garlic. And it gave it just enough without not being too garlicky. It's a savory. This is a dinner biscuit. It's not something you're going to split open and eat with gravy for breakfast with eggs and bacon. You could, but I'd omit the garlic if I was going to do that. I don't want to eat garlic for breakfast. But hey.
But anyway.
So once you get all that going, you need your wet ingredients. And my wet ingredients is buttermilk. And all I did was, it was like 2 cups of buttermilk, 1.5 cups. What did I put in that recipe? I usually pour 2 cups into a measuring dish, and I see what the flour wants to do. Once I pour about half in, kind of make me a well in it. I stir it a few licks and see if it's come together. If it looks like it's dry, needs some more liquid, I'll add more. I don't know what it is. Sometimes it'll take 1.5 cups. Sometimes it'll take 2 cups. And I don't know if it's got I'm not a baker. I don't know if it's humidity or what, but that's by feel. And the more biscuits you make, you'll notice when it needs more liquid, when it don't. Because you don't want the dough super soggy.
Yeah.
You just want it to come together. And as you're stirring it a few times, and I should have counted the whips in the bowl because you don't want to overwork biscuits. That's what makes them light and fluffy, overworking them.
So you're saying like you do 8 whips?
Yeah. How many ever whips out? It's probably about 8 whips.
I'd say
add half my buttermilk and then probably 8 more, and then I'm ready to turn it out. So 16 whips with a big old tablespoon. I'd be terrible at giving baking instructions because I'm not a baker, but that's how I do it. And then I put me out, and I got this little parchment. It's not parchment.
It's silicone. It's a
silicone baking mat. I bought me a baking mat, and I bought me some biscuit cutters several years ago because I wanted to start making pretty biscuits.
It was quarantine.
Yeah, it was quarantine. I started making biscuits.
We're really shut
down. I made
down.
biscuits every day for a while, just till I got it right. But I put me a little flour out on my silicone mat, and I turned that dough out on it. And I get a little flour on my hands, and then I kind of knead it, which kneading biscuits is just kind of taking them and folding them up on themselves and patting them out and fold them up and patting them out. This makes them light and fluffy too. So don't overstir it, but don't knead it too much either. You need about 4 folds like that just to get it the right consistency.
I want to
overwork that dough. You're not making dumplings.
I know.
You're making soft, fluffy biscuits. And so it'll come together, and that excess flour on the board's kind of working into it. Then you just kind of pat it out till it's about, I don't know, I'd say an inch thick, about an inch thick even. And then I get my biscuit cutter. You could use a tin can. You could use a glass, whatever you want to cut your biscuits out with. Flour that a little bit, and then just cut your biscuits out. Have your oven preset to 425.
Do you preheat your cast iron?
No.
Okay.
I put a little oil in it of some type in the cast iron pan, about 2 tablespoons, and then I put the biscuits around. And you want to kind of crowd them in the pan. That makes a biscuit rise too. If you just like
so it doesn't go out.
Yeah, it doesn't go out. It has to go up.
Yeah.
That makes a fluffy biscuit. So how many ever biscuits you're making, use a pan according to where it's a good tight fit in there. And you might have some. I always have a little leftover dough that I just toss, but I try to get as many as I can in that pan to where they're all touching. And the center ones are the best when they rise up. They don't have any crust around the edges, but I'm not knocking the outside biscuit, but the center one's always one I go for. Then I brush the tops with a little more melted butter, stick them in that 425 oven. It takes about 18, 20 minutes. When they rise up, the butter helps that top brown. And I have had to kick it over on broil occasionally. I mean, sometimes you don't. The butter, I've noticed, helps it brown more. If you just use oil, my mama usually broils the tops just a little bit. But as soon as they rise up and they're good and brown, you kind of peek at them, raise one up, and see if the bottom looks good and brown. That cast iron's going to do that for you, though. And you take them out of the oven. A lot of times they'll just turn them out on a plate or let them cool. And some people will split them open, put more butter on them. With these, my biscuits, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, you don't.
There's a buttery bite in every bit. It's pillowy soft. It's crunchy on the top and the bottom.
In a good way.
In a good way?
Yeah.
Oh, man. But I did also, when I take them out of the oven, brush them with a little more butter over top, whatever's left, hit them with a little bit of parsley, and you've got a biscuit that'll go with any dinner you want to serve.
I think the color is prettier when you use the butter instead of the oil.
Yeah, it browns up prettier, yeah. I mean, they're delicious on their own. Do it like Red Lobster. Put them in a basket, bring them out as an appetizer. Go with your salad course.
They're hard to stop eating once you start. They were really, really good.
What'd you think, Tyler? Are you a biscuit man?
Well, in case my wife listens to this, I actually didn't try it.
Okay.
But they were awesome.
You heard.
I've never, so I come from up north, and my dad always does the Cheddar Bay or Red Lobster biscuits for, everything, for any occasion. So when I got to try these homemade, it blew me away, man. They were so good. Y'all got to try them. I'm serious.
Gotta make some biscuits.
Not even partial. This is top recipe January 2022.
It might take a little learning, a little practicing to get your
yeah, once somebody gets going at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got, biscuits
it's an art.
It's a thing of love. Make a good pan of biscuits for somebody. It sounds way harder than it is. You're just throwing some flour with a few ingredients and throwing it in the oven.
That's why they call it biscuit love.
Yeah, biscuit love. You could omit the seasoning and the AP seasoning and the cheddar cheese and just make that Southern buttermilk biscuit, and it would be just as good. That's how I do them for breakfast. I just don't put cheese.
You do add a pinch of salt though, don't you?
Just a pinch. Yeah. And sometimes for breakfast I'll put just a pinch of sugar. It's just balance. So it's a little bit, you need a little sweetness in them, but it's a savory when you really don't need that sweetness. But using the salted butter in the dough, the frozen stick of salted, and when I melt it, I use salted butter too. That's, so it's got a little salt element to it. So don't go heavy on the salt.
Yeah. But it gives to me, it gives it flavor.
Yeah.
You don't
the biscuit stands alone.
Yeah.
It don't need gravy. It don't need anything else.
Yeah.
It's just you want to eat the biscuit. It don't need a piece of meat.
I could have made a meal off that biscuit. I pretty much did after I ate 1.5 of them. So while you were on your break, you didn't really do a whole lot of smoking.
No, really, we didn't.
You did a lot of Blackstone cooking.
If I did some smoking, it was firing up the Traeger. And we cooked, of course, we cooked wings, and we'll throw them on the Traeger. We did some burgers,
I'm not a big burger on the Traeger fan.
You don't like a smoked burger?
It's okay, but it's not a grilled burger.
Yeah, and we did a lot of sausage. If we're going to have sausage and cheese, throw something out for a snack, I'll throw those on the smoker real quick. But that's about all I can. No, well, I take that back. We did a smoked deer roast on there one weekend at camp, and so we got up that morning. We lucky enough to kill some deer this year. We took one of the hindquarters and just deboned it, and then cleaned it up, got all the seasoning off and everything, seasoned it up, and put it on the Traeger one morning before we went hunting. When we come back for lunch,
you just season it, put it on the pit.
Yeah, and let it smoke.
Yeah. What'd you season it with? Like a salt?
Yeah, just like AP.
Beef.
We used Mark's
prime beef.
Jamie's prime beef rub, and I think we threw some of that Alfregone's chimichurri seasoning on it, just to give it some herby texture.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing. I mean, we didn't have, I bring some seasons down there and put them in a drawer, but it's not like, we go crazy with anything. Stuff we use. Put it on the smoker. When we came back from hunting around lunch, we took it off and then kind of cut it up a little bit, moved it to a pan, kicked the oven on, added all our broth that we put in there, vegetables, all the good stuff that goes with it. It's basically a deer pot roast.
Yeah.
Covered it up, stuck it in the oven then, and just let that cook till after the night's on. We come back, man, it had done cooked down and got tender, and we made some mashed potatoes to go with it, and we served it over mashed potatoes, that roast. It was phenomenal.
Did it have like a gravy?
Yeah, it got thick.
Yeah.
Had great. I forget. We had some kind of marinade. I want to say it was.
So did you marinate it?
Wasn't Allegro. No, it was just like one that was in the pantry. I'll have to look and see what name it was, but it wasn't like Dale. It was like a Dale's or Allegro type.
Daddy Hinkle's?
No, it wasn't Daddy Hinkle's. I can't remember which one it was, but it was just in the pantry.
Moore's?
No, it wasn't Moore's. I'll have to look. I'll look and check
Okay.
and tell you what it was. I'm gonna have to come back with that recipe. That's one we're gonna talk about. We'll probably talk about it on Buck Junkie because that's where we did a lot of cooking to talk about on that. But it was, I can't even think of what it was. But anyway, we added that to the liquid we put in there, and we put some beer in it too, and some beef broth, and a couple squeezes of the beef concentrate, and that's about it.
And that's
we
what
kept
went
it easy.
in.
Some pepperoni peppers. It was. We didn't put a ranch packet because it wasn't like Mississippi pot roast, but we just, we didn't add any more seasonings. It was already seasoned up enough. But the vegetables that were in it, all of it just cooked down. It made kind of its own gravy, and the meat just fell apart, and it was juicy and it was tender. And Waylon, my brother, who don't even like deer, we turned him into just a venison fan this hunting season. We cooked all, to be fair to him, he said the only way he really ever had it was wrapped up with bacon and jalapeno, popper style, and overcooked. And he said it's just dry, it don't taste good. And he's like, man, I didn't know you could cook it all these different ways. And
You can mess up some deer meat.
oh yeah,
I mean, I've seen people mess up beef meat.
yeah. So my mom and dad never ate deer, and they never took us hunting. We didn't start hunting until we were grown.
Yeah.
And he just never got into cooking and eating it. And I always liked to cook it, but I'm still learning different ways to do it. But that roast is awesome.
So you got a Blackstone down at hunting camp, and y'all did a lot of Blackstone cooking.
Man, yeah, the Blackstone cooking for a crowd is where it's at. We use that thing for breakfast. We'd use it for lunch for making quick sandwiches like grilled ham and cheese or grilled bologna and cheese sandwiches. You can just throw it all out by the time.
How do you do? Okay, tell me about your bologna cheese
I'll
sandwiches.
tell you about the bologna cheese. Well, blue plate mayonnaise on the bread.
Okay.
On the outside. That's what, instead of putting butter on it, we put blue plate mayonnaise.
Just a light smear.
So I'll take a pack of bologna.
All right.
Good old red skin bologna, it comes in a little
Oscar Mayer.
Oscar Mayer, brine, whatever, flavor of the South. Get the Blackstone going. Put me a few little slits in that bologna. Fire it out on the Blackstone on one side. Go ahead and start mayonnaising my bread, putting it down on the other side. Flip that bologna when it gets a good char on it. Put a couple slices of cheese on top of each one.
Just American?
Yeah, just Kraft singles. Good old cheese. I usually do piece of bologna, piece of cheese, another piece of bologna on top, another piece of cheese, put that on the bread, fold the bread over, and then just kind of toss it back and forth a few times till the bread's good and griddled. You got bologna cheese sandwich.
That sounds really good.
It's delicious. But you can do it with any kind of meat you want, but at deer camp, it's usually bologna.
So the outside gets a little crispy.
Yeah,
Kinda like, it's like a grilled
it's
cheese
straight
sandwich.
up griddled bologna sandwich.
Do you cut them in triangles?
You can cut. Usually I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a rectangle. I like mine triangles.
Something
corner to
about
corner.
triangle grilled cheese.
Oh, it's excellent. I mean, that's I did not think I would be such a fan of flat top cooking.
See, to me, it seems perfect.
It's
Love
for
it.
one person, you're not going,
Yeah.
But when you're cooking for several people, I can do my bacon, my sausage, my eggs, pancakes.
I did pancakes
all
on
at the
one
same
morning.
time. I mean, if you get, I don't forget which size one we have. I think it's a 34-inch or something like that.
It's not the biggest.
No, it's not the biggest, but it's not. It's a 4-burner one.
Yeah.
And you've got plenty of room to do stuff on it. So I've done, breakfast, of course. You like cooking on it. We cook fajitas one night on it, and it makes bomb fajitas. We did some mallard duck breast fajitas. We did, I think I just bought a sirloin steak, and then what else did I have? Some shrimp.
I thought we had chicken.
No, it's shrimp.
Oh, it was
shrimp.
shrimp.
It was shrimp, steak, and duck tacos one night. I did all the the vegetables on the side. Seared
Duck tacos
the
were the
ducks.
best.
We got to talk about. If y'all have never had really good wild mallard duck breast, and if somebody had a bad experience with it, it's probably because they overcooked it. Because it literally took, like, I seasoned it with my Grande Gringo and a little AP. That's all that went on those duck breasts. No oil, no nothing. These were boneless, skinless duck breasts. Let them set out, kind of dry brine for about an hour, where it kind of, gets the outside a little dry, starts pulling some moisture out. Get some grapeseed oil down on that flat top. Put that duck breast down on it, a minute and a half, flip it, another minute and a half. Look at the temperature. It'll be about 118, 120 right there. Get it off. Let it rest. And then, you cook your shrimp. It cooks super fast. But slice that duck breast, and it will melt in your mouth. And I guarantee you, I don't even think if you gave it to someone, they wouldn't even be able to tell you it's duck. Because it tasted like really, really good filet almost, or hanger steak. It had it's got a little bit, I wouldn't say stronger flavor, but it has a real rich, meaty taste to it.
I don't want to call it a minerally flavor because that reminds me of like a liver flavor.
It's not,
but it's not that. But it's more like a deep.
Yeah, it's more like that hanger steak or really good inside skirt, because out that different cuts of beef have a different rich taste to them. I guess that's the best way I can describe it.
Tri-tip has a completely different flavor than a ribeye.
That's right.
Thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
So these taste like an inner piece of meat of beef. For real.
It does.
Or like the cheek taste. You know how that cheek is super rich with the fattiness of it. Duck has that flavor. But yeah, go get you some ducks and cook them. That's all I can say.
Growing up around here, I always heard that the only way to cook duck was to tenderize the crap out of it, marinate it overnight, tenderize it again.
That's the way we always
fry it. And it was never that great.
We've had it fried, smothered in gravy.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. It's really good like that. That's probably my second way to have it. But we the most of the time when I had duck, it was like you said, marinated overnight, cut up into chunks, and then roll ups. And then most of the time, whoever cooked it, or you cooked, you had to cook it till your bacon was done. It was overcooked and it's kind of dry, and it does have like a liverish taste at that point. But when you learn to cook it to where it's rare, medium rare, where it should be, it's a whole new ball game with duck.
Well, we've been lucky enough to go to kind of fancy restaurants and actually have duck, prepared the way it should be, real rare.
Yeah, most of the time those aren't like wild. It's different type of duck. Yeah, it's farm raised. What breed of duck is it? Muscovy duck. A lot of time you'll see that Peking duck. I'm not sure if that's a breed that you see in Asian cooking. But I've cooked those before, and they're good, but they're not near as good as a wild duck. Wild duck just has good. I just love the flavor of it.
It's really good.
We made duck and sausage gumbo with it, and that was phenomenal. It was knock your socks off. I made two different gumbos that I'd never made. One weekend I made a deer and sausage gumbo, and then the next.
What do you mean a deer and sausage? What did you use the deer for?
That was
like what cut of the deer? I guess.
It was just hindquarter. It was a roast we cut up. I browned it in the skillet. Yep, cut it up into like stew meat.
It wasn't tough.
No, it cooked down in the gumbo. I think that one probably took about 6 hours for that gumbo. That was a long gumbo. I made of course I made the roux from scratch and all that, but I wanted to cook that meat down. So that we did, we browned it in a skillet, just a little seasoning, a little bit of oil, just enough to get, some good little crunchies on the outside of all that meat. And then I added it over to my gumbo once I got my roux made and got my Trinity cooked down, let that cook, started adding my liquids to it. And then before I didn't add the okra to the end, and I didn't put the sausage in to the end. But what I did to really make it taste so good, I think, and I did this with the duck too, was we kind of fried our sausage first, cut it up into bites.
You always do that.
Fry it in the skillet, get it off, but leave that sausage fat in that skillet, and then brown in that. Your meat, when you get your meat brown, do your vegetables in it. By that time, your roux ought to be done. Add the vegetables over to the roux. If you got a big meat like deer or duck that needs to cook down and get tender, you can go ahead and add it then, start out building your liquid with it, your broth. And usually I just use chicken stock. That's just, for a sausage, you could use beef stock, I guess, but I like the lightness of a chicken stock.
Yeah.
And man, just cooked it down until it got good and thick. It was almost like meat and gravy. And then you add okra to it, add your sausage back to it, cook you some rice, and be good to go. It'll blow you away.
That's always a little trick I use when cooking. If ever I can use the fat from the meat to cook my veg in.
Yeah, because it gets all that flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever done a gumbo. Have I done a gumbo video?
I don't think so.
I need to do one of those. I know I've done red beans and rice. Probably done jambalaya, pasta.
I don't know. I think
we did
you might
pasta too as a camp. It was really good. I think you shared a picture of that, or I could send it to you to share. I don't know if we did.
We did some stuff during quarantine, like a gumbo and stuff like that. I don't know if we did.
I know I've done gumbo. I don't know if I've done a full-blown video on it. That'd be a good TikTok one, though, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the Blackstone.
Back to the Blackstone.
I wanted to talk to you about, how you like cooking on the Blackstone.
Man, I tell you what, everybody needs one. I mean, I don't say get rid of your grill or get rid of your smoker for it, but they are fun to cook on. Like, I want to do the whole Japanese.
That's what I was going to ask.
When I hadn't done that. Yeah, I've got to do that. It's just for everybody that's been around always wants to come over and cook on it too. It's like everybody wants to jump in and cook on that thing. I guess because it's different, but they're fun to cook on.
How hard is it to get them cleaned back up?
Not hard at all. Not hard at all. I usually just let it run a little bit, and I'll put a little, scrape it down, add a little water to it, get it all up, scrape that out, and then put some oil on it and let that oil slick back over and turn it off, and it's good to go. It takes no time.
Yeah, it's not a big process.
No, not at all.
Yeah. What if have you ever left it and forgot about it and said I'll do it in the morning?
No, that's the one thing since we've cooked on it, I've always
taken care of
it. The shutdown process needs to happen right.
How hard is it to get it like fired up and ready to go?
It's not. They have automatic igniter on them, so all you do is cut your gas bottle. Now, if you run out of gas, you're in trouble. But we've been cooking on the same bottle all hunting season. It's been, we don't, burn it for hours. That's the one thing, you don't cook on it for hours at a time.
Yeah.
It's usually pretty fast. But
how long does it take to get it up to temp?
Probably 15 minutes, I'd say. Cut it
so
on. By the time it gets up there pretty quick. Yeah, it's very rare that I cook on anything other than low on all four of them. And sometimes, I might keep a burner kind of cut up and then one burner over to the side that's off where I can keep some stuff on it, or move my stuff as it cooks over to that side where it's still staying warm but it's not cooking anymore. But it's been great for that.
Yeah, since you've been cooking on it for a couple months now, I guess it's been a couple months. Would you say?
Yeah, since before November.
Yeah. Do you have any tips you've learned?
Just keep it clean. Well, the first thing, I guess the hardest thing about it was when you got it put together, you had to season that top. And that covered it in a good high heat oil, and then you're basically cooking on it till it turns black. It's seasoning itself.
Yeah, I was surprised when it showed up and it was like
just steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you've got to get that sheen on it. So you've got to put oil on it, and you kind of keep it out. I'm pretty sure like the direction said 30 minutes at a time or something on high. Like you put oil on it, you turn it up. Yeah. And it'll kind of turn black, and you kind of wipe it down, and you want it to the whole thing. You got to cook it to where you get the whole thing seasoned. So it takes longer in some spots and all that. But I want to say it took probably 2 or 3 hours of running it to get it seasoned up the way we wanted it. And now once you got it like that, nothing wants to stick to it. So I bought one of these little Blackstone kits at Walmart. It's got the little scraper bottle and the water squeezy bottle and some of the little brush things to clean the top. And that's all. And it comes with like this flat top oil, or it looks like lard or something in a little can, like grease. And it's just some kind of fat.
Yeah.
And I put that on it, kind of scrape it around, get anything cleaned up, wipe it back down, paper towel, and you're good to go.
When you
get a cover on it if you're going to keep it outside, because it is, since you've got it kind of seasoned, the seasoned stuff has almost like a little bit of a stickiness sometimes to it. You got to wipe all that down, but it's still like a leaf could stick to it or dust or anything. So I'd say buy the cover.
Or a cat could
get on it. Next thing you know, you get cat hair on it. Especially if it's just outside, you ain't there all the time like a camp. But I think the cover was $30 or $40. It was well worth it. Blackstones aren't expensive. Like I've seen them at Kroger. Like they'll have them at Kroger for $150, $200, something like that.
The Blackstone brand?
Yeah. I mean, when I think of them, it's like, when I think of a flat top, I think
brands?
of Blackstone.
Is Blackstone a brand?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's its own brand, but when people say Blackstone, they mean
that flat top cooking,
Yep.
So it could be a different brand.
Yeah.
So they make a bigger one, right?
Yeah, they need to. Somebody in Blackstone needs to send me one of them. I ain't got one at the house. I didn't think I'd like it. We got that one as a present.
Yeah.
Like somebody gave it. That one's Waylon's actually.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, let's just take it to camp. And so I said, all right, we'll use it down there. It was set on his porch for months. He didn't even bring it in the house. And then we took it down there and we would put it to some use.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
I will say I have learned that if you want to use an egg ring on there, make sure you season or grease the inside of that egg ring.
So your egg don't stick to it?
Yes, because it will stick to it.
Yeah, and make sure it's level too.
Make sure it's level because your egg will run out underneath.
Out the ring. They've got all kinds of accessories and things like that.
They do.
Like the dome lids for melting cheese on burgers and stuff.
We haven't done smash burgers on
No,
yet.
I need to do some deer burgers. That'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be real good.
And hibachi. That one's on my list.
Hibachi.
I need to come to deer camp.
Man, oh, no. It's more like cook camp. I mean, we do some hunting now, but I think Mark bucked out early, so he's like, I'm going to be the cook this year. And I was like, I want to be the cook. And then Mikey wants to cook. Everybody wants to cook.
Yeah.
So we usually just all jump in and do stuff.
You also
Camp should be more about cooking, I think. I mean, yeah,
it's about fellowship.
Yeah, that's right. We're finishing out the weekend this weekend. This is the last weekend of hunting season. Deer in, duck in, 31st. Get it all in.
You also use that fire pit, your new Bucee fire pit.
Bucky's. I've been eyeballing those Bucky's fire pits. Every time I stop at one, I'm going to get me one of them fire pits one day.
That's a big, nice fire pit.
Finally got me one at the Alabama Bucky's last time we come because we had a truck. We had a truck and trailer. I got room for it now. I ain't got no excuses. So I loaded one up. I think it was $350, $400. It ain't cheap. But man, that's been a good fire pit. It's got a cooking grate that goes over it that you can swing off. I've cooked burgers on it. I've cooked steak on it. What else have we done on it?
You like that open fire?
I like open fire cooking because I got me some beers and I got all my food and I put it on a little table beside me and I'll sit there at the fire pit and cook. You don't get no better than that. Kids make s'mores all the time. Man, I didn't get the s'more game figured out.
Okay, yeah, I did have the s'more game.
Yeah, our s'more game is strong. All you need, fudge stripe cookies. Are you familiar with fudge stripe cookies, Tyler?
Yes.
So fudge stripe cookies and the s'mores marshmallow. It's like a wide kind of flat. You'd think that something was wrong with the marshmallows, like they squished them on the shelf. But they're perfect for a fudge stripe cookie. And you put those on the tongs. Like I got these tongs off Amazon. It's like a retractable metal s'more tong. I say the kids been doing it. You can tell I've been cooking.
Y'all love them, the kids.
So you just hold them over the fire. Don't stick them down in the fire right by the wood. Hold them away from it and rotate it. Get it to where, you don't want that. If your marshmallow is on fire, something's wrong. It's supposed to toast and get brown and gooey.
I do enjoy the toasting of the marshmallow because it's an art to it.
It is. You got to rotate it a little bit.
You can't
and then
get
you put
it
it on
hot
top
too
of the fudge stripe. You don't have to deal with the graham cracker or the extra piece of chocolate that never melts. The fudge stripe is coated on chocolate on the inside and striped on the outside. It's the perfect vehicle for putting a hot toasted marshmallow on it. And it makes the best s'mores.
You don't get that.
Rinse that down some Miller Lite, boy, you good. Tell you what, son.
I was sitting out there with y'all one night, and y'all were like, "Y'all want a s'more?" I'm like, "I just don't know about s'more and beers."
It goes.
It's not go.
They have like chocolate flavored beers and stuff.
Yeah,
that's
that would
true.
probably
And
coffee.
then have a bottle of
like
Fireball
them.
sitting beside you, and you got your bases covered.
I do like the hamburgers you cook on that fire pit.
They give out, hamburgers dripping over a campfire. Man, that's one of the tastiest ways to eat one. Especially when you got a big enough, like that fire pit's big enough to where it's got like a offside to it, so you can get them going and move them off to the side, and they kind of slowly cook a little bit. You're not just fighting flames the whole time.
Yeah.
But I took my grill grates and laid them on the fire grate, and so I was grill grating right there over the live fire. Those things
For steaks or burgers?
Burgers and steaks, yeah. There's nothing better than that, man. Cooked over some wood that's been seasoned.
That's awesome. I wish I had a picture of that.
Yeah.
I need a cameraman at camp. I'm terrible about. I did take some pictures of like the beer or drink I had behind the fire and stuff. I don't think I shared it. I haven't been in social mode at all.
Yeah, you've
It's
been
like,
in
if you go look at my camera roll right now, it's like pictures of us with deer or sitting in the stand and stuff like that. But I hadn't shared. I mean, I don't share pictures of ducks we killed. It's all personal stuff. I don't have any pictures of recipes. I didn't really.
It was your
Yeah,
relaxed time.
I did. I got away from all that.
You can call it R&D because like now you have all these recipes and now you can
Yeah,
share
but
them.
really we did. I didn't look up. I wasn't really researching stuff. We were just cooking stuff. But that's what I brought on my list today was all the delicious stuff that we cooked.
Rapid fire. Let's go through it.
Number one, gravy. That ain't number
Y'all
one.
cooked
But
every time I'd go down there.
I think we had gravy every day. I mean, I think everybody put on 15 pounds.
Like y'all would do a breakfast gravy, you do a
Dinner gravy. We had breakfast gravy, dinner gravy. They're different.
They are.
They're all different. Mark's become a gravy master.
Yes.
He's been the gravy man. You want to cook gravy? He's got it. He's going to whip up gravy. I don't care if we're having canned biscuits. We're having gravy. And he's going to fry some sausage. He's going to use that sausage grease. And he's going to
he can make a gravy now.
Make gravy now.
And there is an art,
Bacon
just
grease
like
gravy.
biscuit.
Yeah.
There's an art to gravy.
We didn't have he likes to use like half and half and milk, but if you don't have that, he'll make a buttermilk gravy. And the buttermilk gravy's dang good.
I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, he's making gravy. He made a sour cream gravy one time. I don't think we had anything. Cream cheese, sour cream. He still made a gravy.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
I guess you just need a cream, right?
Yeah, you just need to get it down. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Next.
But the number one, the best thing I probably had was when we had the duck and sausage gumbo. Mikey threw together shrimp bread. And that shrimp bread.
So what's shrimp bread?
So you saute some vegetables like onion and pepper. And then you get you some shrimp. And you take the peelings off of raw shrimp, peels and tails off of them. As soon as your vegetables get soft, you throw them in there, season them up, saute them a little bit with some butter, little Worcestershire, little seasonings like king crawl, and you take it over to a bowl and you mix it up with blue plate mayonnaise. And don't be hating on the plate, because blue plate's where it's at. It is cheese and blue plate, and you probably use 2 cups of cheese at least, shredded cheese. Probably a cup of blue plate. Now I've got a recipe for the crawfish bread we did. It's
You have it
exact
written?
same. I don't know if Tyler, not write
That
out
needs
that
to be a
recipe.
TikTok.
But this shrimp bread, Mikey's shrimp bread was awesome. Take a French loaf of bread, lay it open. You spread that mayonnaise-y, cheesy, shrimpy, onions and peppers mixture on top of it. Throw it in the oven, or he put it out on the Traeger. Cooked it on the Traeger on a sheet pan, just open face until that cheese all melts across the top, and then bring it back in and just cut it in like, I don't know.
A portion size.
Yeah.
Just like you cut a
2-inch
regular-
wide pieces
yeah.
of bread. It's just right there, and there wasn't a crumb left of that stuff. I mean, it was hot, sticky, gooey, cheesy. Goes so good with gumbo.
A
Man,
lot of
it
people
was-
use crawfish.
Yeah,
too.
and I did it with crawfish bread. Really good.
You could do it with nothing in it. I mean, just,
I've got that idea just hit me there. You know the little sandwiches I like to make? You could do those with
Oh, like
Hawaiian
your-
rolls with that, and that would be so good. It'd almost be a play on a crawfish roll or a shrimp roll, but it's hot and cheesy.
oh, like a lobster roll?
Yeah, hot, cheesy, not kind of cool like they do it, salad.
Yeah.
I'm doing that.
We'll southern it up.
That would be so. That's gonna be so good. I promise you. That might happen Super Bowl.
Write that down.
I'm gonna call them crawfish rolls,
Crawfish rolls.
seafood rolls,
Oh, I like crawfish rolls better.
crawfish rolls. That's gonna be good.
Can't
Right.
be bad.
Crawfish
Yeah.
rolls to do.
Bread. Anytime you mix bread,
Cheese, and mayonnaise,
mayonnaise,
any kind of meat. Yeah,
and especially seafood, I'm in.
that was probably. I mean, of all the delicious stuff we cooked, that one, like, wow, it was.
Hey, I went down there and made some chicken and dumplings.
I had that on my list. Shells, chicken, and dumplings. I mean, we had chili. We had chicken and dumplings. We had the 2 gumbos. I mean, that rotation. We made pastelaia. It's just chicken and sausage pastelaia. Another one that stood out, we did a fried catfish with crawfish etouffee over the top of it. Served it on rice. So
that catfish. I went down there like the next day and ate it cold out of a bag
Man,
out of the
so
refrigerator. It was so good.
hey, and I'm calling me the catfish king for nothing.
It was perfect.
The catfish. I did that. It was, I mean, basically, you got to use good catfish first.
Yeah.
And, Mississippi, we're known for our pond raised catfish. when you get those catfish fillets home, and you don't want the monster ones. You don't need the 8 and 10 ounce fillets. I like to get the 4 to 5 ounce fillets perfect. It's got a seam right down the middle of that fillet. I'll take it and cut it and make catfish strips with it. Because the whole fillet is just, it's too, you don't know.
I like the crusty pieces.
I like more surface crunch area than I do the whole fillet.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll eat that fillet like that, but I'd rather have it in strips. Makes a better bite. It's a Mississippi thing, thin, crispy catfish.
Mm-hmm.
And so take that, get it on a wire rack, or first pat it with paper towel. Don't run it under water. Just pat it with paper towel, get all the moisture that's on the fish off of it, and lay it on a wire cooling rack over a baking pan. Hit it with some AP and let it sit. It needs to air dry. You want that to air dry a little bit.
How long?
10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then I take my cornmeal that I season with a little more AP. And when I say season, I don't know if it's 2 cups of cornmeal, I probably put a tablespoon of AP in it.
But
Mix
you
that
can
up.
use really any type of all-purpose or Cajun
Yeah,
salt.
if you got a breading you like or whatever, you can use that. Just season that breading. Make sure it's got some flavor. Don't just do it plain. Put that filet in it. If you want to toss it, shake it, whatever you need to do, put it in a Ziploc bag, get it coated good, get it out, shake the excess off, put it back on that wire rack. And it needs to sit 30 minutes this time. It's all about getting that moisture off of it. To when you drop it in that hot grease, it goes to cooking immediately. The breading sticks to it. It makes that crunch. And I fry a catfish probably 4 to 6 minutes. The secret to me with
What,
frying,
350?
yeah, 350-degree peanut oil. Drop them down in the deep fryer. We got one of those Value Classic double basket ones. If you don't have one of them, that's about the best fryer I know. And I fry them. Catfish will stop cooking and kind of float. That's how you know. But then I raise it up and look at it, and I don't want it to be light golden. I want it to be a golden. I want it crispy. There's nothing worse than having soggy fish that somebody just didn't fry it long enough. You got to get it crispy. Let it sit there and drain a little bit, throw it out. Now, Mikey made the etouffee that went with it. And it's basically a Cajun gravy of crawfish, if I had to say. Makes it
Kinda, yeah.
You start with your vegetables. You add some flour to it. Start adding your cream. You got to kind of build that base up, season it up. Throw your crawfish in at the end. It's super easy to make etouffee. And then that goes rice, 2 fillets of catfish, topped with the crawfish etouffee and some green onions over the top. And you'll be ready to fight. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
It is good. I like your catfish because it's a thin, crunchy batter. It's not a wet batter. It's not a thick batter. It's just, it becomes part of that catfish almost.
I got to do that etouffee too because it's
Write it down.
It's going to be TikTok.
Oh, it could be a YouTube.
I don't think because it's not really barbecue. I mean, it's
true.
I'm going to branch out this year. It's not all going to be about barbecue. It's just going to be about
deliciousness.
Delicious cooking. Yeah. Etouffee.
I like that.
TikTok.
What else you got on your list?
Of course, we did a lot of wings.
Yeah. Y'all did a lot of wings.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, my secret to cooking wings here lately has been, I don't care what you season them with. I just like to do a whole wing with some AP on it, hit it with some duck fat, put it on the Traeger, 400 degrees, about an hour and 5 minutes. They ought to be right at 195, 200 internal. Here's the secret, soon as I take them off, I've got melted butter and I sprinkle a little AP in it, salt, pepper, garlic. Those wings go immediately off the grill into that to on a wire rack. Once you toss them around in that butter, then you let them sit just for a few minutes, and you're ready to go in any sauce you have. And
I like them there.
You like them straight out the butter, just butter and AP. But I'm telling you, I've done it with wing sauce. I've done it with the Asian sauce, with the jerk sauce, with the Parmesan. All those sauces go they taste better once you toss that wing in butter and a little AP.
You can get too heavy on the AP.
Yeah, you don't need much.
You don't need much.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm trying to soak them in butter either. I mean, I do.
It's a light toss.
Yeah, it's just a light, quick toss. Bam, bam. It's almost like seasoning fries once they come out of the hot grease.
Crispy.
It gets them crispy. I mean, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
It's a game changer on wings doing them like that. And Tyler, you've had them like, I don't care if you're frying them, grilling them, or what. When we fry them, we still do them the same way, and you've had those like that.
Yep.
It makes that buffalo wing just shine once you do as soon as it comes out of the grease, little butter, little AP, let them dry just a little bit, then toss them in your sauce. I always warm my sauces up a little bit too. I don't just use a cold sauce, or even if you're using a bottle, like some of these Buffalo Wild Wing sauces out of the bottle, just warm them up in the microwave just a few seconds, just to where you can stick your finger in it. It's warm. and then toss them in that after you've tossed them in the butter and AP. And man, they'll want to know your secret. Promise you.
I like them because once you toss them in that butter and AP, you take a few and leave for me. Then you take a few and toss them in whatever sauce this person likes. And, you know, you got a lot of different wings.
So what we did was
without a lot of work.
We found these. Who makes those bowls? It's like a throwaway, take and go.
Yeah, it's a red top, clear bottom.
I think it's called take and go or something like that.
Take and bake or no.
Travel and go, whatever it is.
It's
stow and go. Cheap Glad plastic bowl with the lid, so you can get a stack of them at the grocery store. With
three comes in a container
with 3 lids. And so I'll buy some of those and they have different sauces ready. That way you don't have to wash the bowl out every time. This is going to be your buffalo bowl. This is going to be your lemon pepper bowl. This is going to be your Asian bowl, whatever you want to do. And that's, I like it. And then let people toss them themselves, like you talked about.
What else you got?
Oh, that's it on what I like cook list. I mean,
I tell you, I'm going to talk about our community now.
Oh, yeah. I've been trying. That's one of my goals, to try to spend some time in the community. Be more
active in the community. So something I did put on our list that would be great down there at deer camp is I saw Sam from the community. He posted a beef stroganoff.
Man, I saw that.
Using the prime beef.
That don't look like my mama's stroganoff.
If you said, I got a good stroganoff recipe, I'd be like,
yeah,
you could.
It's good. It's kind of creamy, got a little sour cream flavor to it. Usually,
but I saw that picture, I was like, daggum.
I know. I was like, what? I don't think this. What have I been doing wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
That looked like some beef.
Did you see that picture?
Yeah,
I'm really good.
Did he share the recipe on that? I gotta look that up.
I think I asked him for the recipe.
Yeah, I gotta look that up. I gotta find that. That looked like some legit pasta.
That would be really good for the for deer camp though.
Yeah,
that'd go in line.
Yep.
Yeah,
you gotta have something that's hearty at deer camp.
It'll feed a lot of people.
That's right.
A lot of one pot things.
Honestly, over this holiday season, there's been so many good recipes on the community.
Yeah, Tyler, you could do if you see some, do a recap on it. I hadn't been looking at too much social media, so
yeah, I'll give you the rundown, man. Yeah. I mean, so many good stuff on there.
One thing I saw people commenting on was, how and where do you store all the rubs and seasonings?
I take over one of Shell's cabinets. It's all mine are.
One.
Yeah.
We have a seasoning
They leach
cabinet,
out, yeah.
And then we have like a barbecue seasoning cabinet, and then we have an overflow in the laundry room.
Yeah.
And then we have
out in the garage
multiple shelves out in the garage.
So the best thing is keep them airtight. You got to keep air off of them. That and heat. Out of sun,
that's why the
sunlight.
garage doesn't work as well.
Yeah, if you keep them in controlled heat environment, you keep them kind of in a dark pantry or something. Keep the air off of them. They'll last you a long time. I mean, most rubs they come with a year shelf life, but they're not going bad. The only thing that's going bad is air gets in them and moisture gets in them. And some of the seasonings will lose their potency, which just means it might not have as much flavor as it did when it was fresh, but it's not going bad. So they'll last a long time. One trick that I've learned is if you can find these little, what do they call it? It's like comes in beef jerky, the little packets. Decandescent.
I know what you're talking about. Silicone kind of.
It's just a little pouch for moisture. If you can find and save those, like if you get some beef jerky, you eat it. Don't throw that little pouch away. Or I tell you, another place they come is in medicine. A lot of times, if you get bottles, from the drugstore, like if you got a monthly supply of something, I know some of my medicines, I've got those little, I don't know what the pack's called. But I'll drop them in my rub bottles and I'll put the lid on. It keeps the moisture off of it and it keeps it a lot fresher. Look that up and see what those are called. Or who's got access to a computer around here?
I'm more talking about the quantity, not how to keep them fresh.
Oh, I thought you don't know how to store them.
No, that's a
vacuum
good tip.
Vacuum seal's a good way too.
That's a good tip.
You can vacuum seal them. If you're buying bulk, like you buy a 2-pound or 5-pound bag, take out what you need, get you a food saver, vacuum seal the rest. That's a perfect way that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Canister's a good way. If you got a canister, you can keep it in.
How often do you think you should clean out your seasonings?
Once a year.
Once a year?
Yeah. I used to do it a lot. I'd do like suicide, where you just mixed everything.
Yeah.
Take one rub, dump it all in a bag. And then that's what you say. And you can never duplicate it. Sometimes it's a winner. Sometimes it's, I'll order pizza tonight. But it's a good way to use all those sauces and rubs, Or you can, if you're doing a lot of wings or something, that's, maybe Super Bowl's a good time to get rid of your rubs.
Yeah, butts are good if you're doing a butt.
Yeah, that's what we usually do with the wings and fundraisers. They get a little bit of everything on this one. Get all the open stuff first before we break out the fresh. We're gonna use it.
Well, the biggest problem is people are constantly sending us rubs.
Yeah,
if you go anywhere,
I get a ton.
Yeah,
I bet you there's 50 at the house open of different brands and kinds.
Yeah.
It's one thing I noticed is we really blew through those Melinda's bottles. Like I was looking for
those
them yesterday.
Good.
I can't find them.
Those were my favorite sauces from. I've had several favorite sauces.
Is that
really
Louisiana
good stuff.
one?
Melinda's, like they send us like.
Oh, yeah.
Those were dang good.
Where are they from? Where are they out of?
I'm not sure. Let me look. But they send us like
Texas, but I'm not positive.
I want to say like
that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they were really, really good.
Really good.
I even like some of those. The ones that we brought to the house, there's like one bottle left, and it's just a little bit. But playoffs are this weekend.
They are. We got two big games. The championships are both Sunday. Got the Rams
really
and the
hoping
Niners.
they be both Saturday.
And who are you pulling for? Are you team Joe Burrow or are you
I like
Pat Mahomes?
I like Baby Burrow.
Is that who you're going for?
I'm a big
Cincinnati?
Joe Burrow fan.
I wouldn't mind seeing Joe Burrow get one.
Heck
Get a national title and get a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I've liked him ever since he was at LSU.
Smoke another cigar.
And I like the Rams.
I kind of want it to be the Rams in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I don't have a care in the world. I'm not probably Super Bowl. I'm not even worried about the Super Bowl this year. I mean, if it's on, it's on. But I got to get up early and catch a plane the next morning, so it can't be my usual Super Bowl celebration that I like to have. So I'm laying it all out Sunday. I probably ain't gonna come to work Monday. Clear my schedule Monday.
That's why I wanted it to be on Saturday.
I know it'd been better, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We're gonna do it all Sunday.
What are you cooking? Well, first of all, who do you have? Who do you have?
I'm taking the Rams and I'm taking Cincinnati.
That's who you want to say, yeah.
That's what I want to see. I think the Rams will beat San Francisco. The problem with that one's going to be that all these San Francisco fans are going to show up. The Rams, they're complaining about it already. All the Rams fans sell their tickets to San Francisco fans, and it ends up being like all, a red out at the stadium. So I expect there to be more San Francisco fans at that game than I do Rams fans. But I think the Rams, if they stay healthy, they're pretty healthy now. But
they have a heck of a defense, don't they?
San Francisco's got a good defense too, though. Yeah, it's going to be a good game. And then that Kansas City Buffalo game was so good last weekend. You got to wonder if Kansas City has anything left.
Yeah,
that was a magical game. I don't know if there's ever been another playoff game, and I've seen some great ones in my life. Joe Montana. That's what they've played some awesome games that I've seen. I don't know. That was two of the best quarterback plays last weekend. It was good. It was
we had fun. We cooked some wings and
I'm
had
probably
some
gonna cook some more wings.
Yeah.
We're gonna be at deer camp. So
what's the Sunday plan? What's your playoff menu?
I don't know yet.
You haven't made.
I got to go to the store after we leave here. I got to go plan. I got to go do some planning and see what I'm gonna cook. I know tonight.
Do you get tired?
We're finishing up hunting camp. So before deer season starts, we go to Como Steakhouse, and then the last Friday of the last weekend, we go to Como Steakhouse, and that's tonight. So
Como Steakhouse is it's not a fine dining establishment.
It's a classic Mississippi style steakhouse.
I agree.
It's in
you know what you're getting.
Old Como was like a rail stop town that maybe boomed eons ago, maybe. I don't know. There's nothing there. There's nothing there.
There is nothing there.
But it's got like this one little downtown street, or I don't even call it downtown. There's no such thing as downtown Como. You're either in Como or you're not. But it's this row of old buildings they have, and there's, old. When I say old buildings, they're old. I don't even know how they're up to code. I guess they get great grandfathered in. That ain't even grandfathered in. That's great grandfathered in. But they've had these grills that are out in the middle of the restaurant, and that's where the guys cook on them. And it's a steakhouse where you go and you pick out your whatever steak you want. It's coming with a mashed potato or a baked potato, and it's coming with a salad for one price. And they don't have a big menu at all. I think they've got a salmon choice, which is absolutely delicious, because they cook it right there with the steaks, and I think they cook it in this little, like a fish basket thing, and it tastes just like the steak. It's salmon. They've got a pork chop.
They got a rack of lamb.
And they've got a rack of lamb, and I think that's it. That's about the only options. I mean, they got some kids' chicken tenders, probably, but that's it. And then their sides are very basic too. I mean, it's an old school steakhouse that
I love it.
It's awesome. It's one of my favorite. It's hard to beat a Como steak.
If I tell them I want a medium rare ribeye, they bring me a medium rare ribeye, and it's seasoned and it's good.
The filet there's good. The ribeye there's fantastic. The bone-in ribeye's good. The porterhouse is amazing. Salmon's good. The chop's good. I've never had the lamb. I'm not really I'm just not one to order lamb out. But that's where I'm going tonight.
I'm tempted to try
their mushrooms. They've got appetizer mushrooms. It's like these butter steak marinade cooked mushrooms that are just greasy and delicious. They've got sausage and cheese that they serve with ranch for some reason.
I don't hate on the ranch.
You don't hate on the ranch? Their salad dressings are really good. I guess they make them there. But the fried pickles, which the last time I went, they didn't have the fried pickles. They said there's a pickle shortage. So I don't know.
Really?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There was a wing shortage for a while. We had a problem finding wings.
There's a lot of places still aren't getting wings. And I don't think it's because it's a shortage. I just think they're charging so much for them. Places they can't sell a wing for $3. But that's going to be we'll probably cook some of the normal stuff, football foods. I always do wings. There'll probably be some, sliders at some point. I don't know. I got some
sausage
ribs out there. I ain't cooked ribs in a while. I may need to cook some ribs.
That actually sounds really good.
Yeah, some nachos. Bring the nacho machine back out. You got any nacho cheese?
You're going to do your Super Bowl party for the playoffs?
Yeah, it is. It's for championship day. Let's see. And you think this sounds strange? This is the way Vikings fans have always done it.
Wow.
We don't get to do Super Bowl. Not in my lifetime. We haven't got to do Super Bowls. So it's always NFC championship party. So that's what I celebrate. So this is okay for me.
Let's not lie. You'd never
probably gonna do my little crawfish rolls. That'd be good.
You also get more football that way, right?
You do. You get 2 games. I really wish. Now this is what I really wish they had one of them on Saturday and one of them Sunday.
Yeah.
It'd be a championship weekend. Now I don't know. I thought seems like they used to do that or they have done it. I don't know. Maybe they haven't. But it seems to me I would gear more towards a Saturday. I wish Super Bowl was on Saturday instead of Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
that just
does.
makes too much sense. Makes too much sense, doesn't it?
But that's all the time we have today, Mel.
That's it? Man, that first episode went by quick, Shell. I got a couple ideas on things I need to go get some recipes done for, get ready for the weekend, and we'll be back next week, right?
Yep. Next week.
Yeah.
We got a few weeks before we are out of town for a week.
Yeah. We got a couple more weeks. Then we're going to be out for a little bit, and then we'll come back hot and heavy.
Tyler, is there anything we need any housekeeping?
Hot and heavy. Yeah.
Want to see these new recipes this year, Tyler? Where can they find those at?
Hey guys, so this year we're going to be posting the shorts on a lot more mediums. So you guys are going to see a lot more of those shorts everywhere that you like to watch Malcolm, whether that's Instagram, TikTok, and even Facebook. And then make sure you guys download our How to Barbecue Right app, where you can find all of Malcolm's favorite recipes and soon to be TikTok recipes as well, because I know a lot of you guys are looking to get the full recipe. Yeah, that's all I got.
And don't forget the community, man. If you guys are on Facebook and you haven't joined the community, go over there and just click on it, because it's a lot of great information there. It's not just stuff we do. The community is about sharing, and it's about other people cooking stuff. And we jump on it and comment. If you got questions, we try to. Our group tries to answer them and stay up with them. I'm going to be more active in there, but there's a ton of great people in there that'll give you advice.
Yeah.
It's super friendly, super non-judgmental. And we don't no BS, right?
We don't put up with none of that mess.
Yeah, Tyler.
I ain't gonna put up with none of that mess.
There's no arguing. None of that crap goes on there.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, we don't do that.
It's such a tight knit community, though. Like seriously, it's very easy to run. Like everybody's very chill, and you'll strike up. You'll probably make lots of friends on there.
Yeah,
like-minded
people. So
we got to figure out one of these days how to have a community get together. That would be cool. Community fest.
Yeah. Here.
I don't know where, but somewhere. some place that's got enough room to do it.
Like a meetup?
Or something like that, yeah.
In a conference room?
Yeah. I don't know about a conference room. It needs to be somewhere you can bring a grill.
Yeah.
But anyway, that would be cool. Maybe at a resort. That'd be my ideal place. Yeah, we'll just go and talk barbecue. We're not really cooking or anything. We're just hanging out and going to one of these all inclusives. And man, that would be fun.
Sit in the pool.
Yeah, why not?
9 a.m. burger talk.
Yeah, that's it. We're gonna be talking burgers in a big pool.
Hire
Bloody
food,
Marys and burgers.
food truck just keeps putting out food all day.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. Well, hey, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us, and we're glad to be back here in 2022. And
this is our 5th season.
5th season.
That's crazy.
It is. For Tyler on the board, Shell across from me, I'm Malcolm. Y'all leave them Broadway girls alone. We'll see y'all next time.